Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mondays Suck. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's a weekly video feature that we do here at the Fandom Show every Monday where we talk about things that aren't very good, whether that's video games, movies, television shows, characters, basically anything in pop culture that has a reputation for, well, sucking. So I figure if we're doing a show about stuff that sucks, we gotta talk about Jar Jar Binks, right? Obviously, by universal acclaim, one of the most hated characters in the Star Wars universe. Interesting fact, in fan polls, Jar Jar Binks usually does rate among the worst characters in the Star Wars universe. However, he doesn't always top those polls. In fact, there is really no universal consensus among fans regarding who is the worst Star Wars character of all time. This guy usually finishes in the top 5, but again, he's not consistently number 1. Other characters who show up higher than you might expect, the Ewoks, Boba Fett, and believe it or not, Kylo Ren. So Jar Jar Binks, of course, was in Episode 1 as played by Ahmed Best, who did the motion capture and voice work for the character. He was apparently meant to be comic relief, entertainment, something to sell dolls for kids, or action figures for kids kind of a thing. The general consensus is that he failed on all levels. He was not funny, he was annoying, he interfered with the plot, he just wasn't very good. Kids didn't like him, adults didn't like him, just an across-the-board failure. I would like to point out that this failure does not fall upon the shoulders of Ahmed Best. Yes, he voiced the character and did the performance work, but it was George Lucas who created the character and George Lucas who wrote that god-awful dialogue that he had to say. I don't know why a character who says stuff like, "You said so awesome," was supposed to be a hit with people, but I'm not in George Lucas's mind. So Ahmed Best actually felt really bad after the movie came out when Jar Jar took a lot of heat. And I kind of feel bad for Ahmed Best on that because, again, he only had so much control of his character. And I get that he put a lot of work into it. And so he felt badly when people were sort of pissing all over it. But that ought to tell you just how negative a reception Jar Jar had. He was in all 3 prequels, though he most prominently featured in Episode 1 after the rather intense fan dislike that came after that movie for Jar Jar. His role was scaled back significantly in the next 2 films. There is an interesting fan theory that Jar Jar was actually a secret Sith Lord. Now, this is actually not as ridiculous as it sounds. If you watch the theory, and there's actually a video on YouTube that explains it very well, it's actually kind of plausible when you look at it. So maybe a bit of a saving grace for the character, I don't know. I still don't like Jar Jar much, even knowing about this Sith Lord theory, and I don't think George Lucas ever intended it as such. I mean, the reality is that every franchise needs a few punching bags, and regretfully, Jar Jar Binks has become a punching bag for the Star Wars universe. But hopefully, he did serve at least one good purpose in being a glaring example of what not to do with a Star Wars character. That's it for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be right back here next Monday with another one.